Hey everybody, and welcome to my channel, Infinity Now. Thank you for tuning in and watching, and thank you for all the participation. It's been awesome so far. So, of course, I welcome you to subscribe and thumbs up, and let me know comments and ideas. As always, much appreciated. So, there's something real crazy I wanted to talk about and share. What's been happening at least the last few years, where there are trumpets or loud noises in the sky, and it's not just one off. And I've seen reports of this before, and I never really gave it a second thought until recently, and uh, started to explore exactly the meaning behind that. And the answer is really interesting, where this is coming from. So there's a lot of speculation, like where's this coming from? Is it like a factory? Is it military training? Is it signs from God? Is it like the second coming? That sort of thing. So a lot of people just have their own theories. But the answers I got when channeling, so I asked, what these sounds were, and if the source can be explained to me in the reasoning, and the answer was yes. So, but first, before we get into that, by the way, this just happened here in Washington State. I live in the United States here. About a month ago, and I had a friend confirm that for me, and she actually heard it, and so did her neighbors. So this happened, and there have been a lot of these sightings, audio, not really sightings, but experiences here in Washington State. I have yet to hear any yet, but the fact this just happened probably about 20 minutes away from from where I lived, and was confirmed by a lot of people. And it's not really in the local news. I haven't seen it anyways, but that really got me thinking too, like, man, this is something I'd like to learn more about. So before I get into the reasons of what's causing that, let me show you a quick video of some great examples I found online of the sounds that are kind of occurring in the air everywhere. Okay, so here's a video with the sounds in it, and there's a variety of sounds that I'll play. And again, this was heard all around the world. And there's a guy in this video, too, that's tracking them. And this video itself was done about 6 years ago, and I think I found some other videos online a little bit older. So it's been going on, at minimum, from what I can tell, not having researched it fully, maybe like 5 to 10 years at least. But listen to these sounds and the variety of sounds that are happening in the air, and see what you think. Okay.
Guys, what is going on?
Strange sounds are being heard around the world. In Sweden, this sure sounds like a trumpet. In Michigan, another trumpet-like sound. In British Columbia, Canada, Dr.
See, so that's crazy. There's a different variety. Like that first one, some guy in the comments said it was sounds like a chair scraping on the kitchen floor, like 2 in the morning. It kind of did. And then the one after that was like a more deep growl, like a real guttural sound in the air. And that third one really did, like the guy was saying, it sounds really like a trumpet in the air. So, and these are being heard by all sorts of people all around the planet. And then if you go to this video here, this guy starts mapping them, and you can see over the past few years, I think they said over 17,000 incidents confirmed by a variety of people across the world. What's interesting, I didn't notice this before, but if you see, all throughout like Europe here, Western Europe and Eastern Europe, a lot less around here, which is interesting, but it really collects around the UK and Ireland, which makes sense. And here's the United States. Interesting. So that's crazy. I didn't see this before, but nothing over Africa, nothing over South America. Certain clusters here, but just covers the whole map right here in Europe and most of the United States of America here, and then parts of Alaska and up through Canada. And that's fascinating. So it probably has to do with, my guess, dense population centers and places where they can monitor people more, which makes sense because there's not as many technologically advanced cities and countries here in Africa or South America. Of course, there is in the United States. Canada, as big as it is, I know there's only a few major population centers, and that could be why I think Vancouver's right around here. And of course, all throughout Europe here in Western Europe, high levels of technology and access to things like that. So easier to monitor people who have phones, and there's, a lot of CCTVs in the United Kingdom where they can gauge the, more people to easily affect, in other words, more people that are in these areas. Anyways, check out this video and see what you think. There's a bunch of them online too, and it's really interesting. Okay, so there you go. There's the examples of what those sounds sound like. And you can hear again, they're very, very different. Now, what is the cause of this? This is fascinating. So when I was asking for the answer as far as what this is, it's nothing spiritual. There's nothing like coming from the, afterlife or spiritual realms. Nothing like factories or military training, anything like that. There's probably some like those things happening, of course, out there, and they may overlap with witnesses that are hearing this sort of thing. But overall, these strange noises in the sky are coming from major world governments, from what I was told. So I had asked when I was traveling, I said, what are these things, and can you guys explain it to me? And the answer was the U.S. government and governments around the world. And this is just, it's really, a light bulb went off in my head when I was actually showing you guys the other video. That makes sense, because did you notice, like I said, everything is kind of clustered or concentrated around first world economies where there's high levels of technology. I didn't see a map of Asia there, but I imagine it's pretty similar in certain parts like South Korea or Japan, for example, places that are highly advanced and evolved. So now the reason that they're doing is experimentation it's a psychological, from what I was explained. Psychological data is being collected on how people react en masse to this kind of phenomenon, and to see, what their theories are and how this just kind of resonates through the public. And again, it makes sense now, because where else could you monitor this sort of thing and the response to it other than places that are heavily populated? Of course, places like Africa and South America, yes, very heavily populated, but the U.S. and Western Europe and these sorts of places, they have the top level, highest level of technology as far as satellite technology, CCTV, ways to monitor people, monitor social media. These things are a lot more sparse in areas, continents like Africa or South America. So that's why I was thinking, man, it makes sense now that these would be the places to collect test data. And I was like, well, what the hell are they doing this for? People think it's like the second coming of Christ, or like they're trying to figure out, what is it like? Skyquakes, people call them too, like the rumbling and the growling in the air. So what's the purpose of this? So this is what I found most interesting, is what I was told, what I heard was, the answer was, it is directly tied to aliens and first encounter and first contact that the governments of the world are preparing for here on Earth, believe it or not. So they are purposefully projecting these sounds like through the air in these select places on Earth, and are trying to study fear and trying to study collective response and how these populations actually react to it and talk about it and go about their daily lives. So in an attempt to understand and handle when the world becomes aware, and we are gradually, it's not a secret anymore, that there are UFOs and aliens out there, and they're doing this to prepare themselves to best manage really the world for this information when it comes up. So it's weird, I know, but it kind of makes sense, right? So to just monitor the global population and maybe start to come up with strategies on how to handle or manage situations where there's mass confusion or mass uncertainty or perhaps fear, or even positivity if the result is that. So they can use this to their advantage when it's time to, I imagine, calm everybody and calm the excitement when alien life and UFOs simply become like an official announcement and part of our daily lives. And it's not secret anymore. There's a lot of aspects to it that will always be secret, that the governments will keep from us for quite a while, I think, and may never even confess to a lot of it. But these tests included, I highly doubt that the first world governments of planet Earth are going to say, yeah, that was us. We were, blasting sound in the air to, um, you know, psychological data collection for the upcoming first encounter with aliens. I'm sure that wouldn't go over very well. So anyways, that is what I understand, and it just makes sense, and that's what I believe, and I wanted to share that with you guys. I thought it was fascinating. So, interesting. If you've heard these things, let me know in the comments too. And I haven't yet. I haven't heard them, but I believe in them, and I have friends that have heard this stuff, and you see the videos online and the news reporting it. But that is the reason behind them, and there you go. So, thanks again for watching, as always, and we will see you in the next video. Please take care. Thank you.